Let me pose a question to Christopher, picking up this issue of whether or not Jesus is mythical, because you emphasized it with some ferocity. Do you believe that Alexander the Great was in fact an historical figure?
Yes.
Do you believe that Socrates was an historical figure?
No.
What about Aristotle?
We think that it's a sure thing that Aristotle was the tutor in philosophy of Alexander of Macedonia. The figure of Socrates is not known to us except through descriptions of him by, I have to use the word, later disciples. But it doesn't matter, you see, I can still say I'm for the Socratic method.
Well,
I think nothing depends for me on the demonstration of his physical existence, it's a matter only of ideas.
No, the point I'm trying to get at here is this, and I'm trying to show the way in which you are essentially abandoning all canons of historical scholarship when it comes to the ancient world. You're applying a standard to Jesus that you'd never apply to other figures, which, I mean, I don't know if there's a philosopher in the world who considers Socrates to be entirely mythical. I didn't
say that either. I said we have nothing that we could call historical proof of his existence. I'm not at all varying my rules. They're the same as they were for the Nazarene question.
We have pretty good historical proof. We have Plato, we have Xenophon, we have Aristophanes. Why would all those guys make up Socrates when they are, some of them approaching him critically, some of them approaching him? So historians generally agree that there's no good reason to make up Socrates. But the reason that you've got to say he might have been made up is you're establishing essentially an impossible canon of historical verification. Most of the historical figures in the ancient world are attested to by one or two, or in Christ has probably more attestations than many other figures whose historicity you wouldn't doubt for a moment.
Dinesh, I don't know why you're doing this to yourself.
The existence of
the Macedonian royal house is an archaeological question as well as among many others. It's decidable in innumerable ways. The probability of there having been someone with the one name of Socrates is very high, but it can't be absolutely attested to, and it doesn't need to be, because those ideas would have been in someone else's mouth if they weren't in his. The idea, it surely is important to you that the physical existence of Jesus can be proved in a rather different way, since he is the Son of God, and the Word made flesh, and born of a virgin, and by his death, we are all healed. So you've got a little bit more riding on this than I do, and you've got no evidence for it. None.
We're not.
There is no evidence for any of these propositions.
I may have a lot riding on the resurrection, and we're not talking about those things. We're really saying, what you seem to be saying...
I'm sorry, but I am insisting on talking
What you seem to be saying, even though we have we have the Gospels, we have the Acts of the Apostles, we have the testimonies of Suetonius, Tacitus, Roman sources, Greek sources, Jewish sources, including Josephus, then we have an early Christian movement following Christ that has no incentive to do so. They're in a persecuting Roman Empire. Many of them go to their deaths because of Christ, and you're saying they all went to it because of a made-up guy. That's historically preposterous.
No,
and most historians agree with me.